Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Widi. Here, I'm going to explain about the introduction and the features about the TPS or the Think, Pair, Share Learning Strategies. According to Frank Lehman in 1981, TPS or the acronym of the Think, Pair, Share is the collaborative discussion strategies designed to provide students with time to think and formulate their ideas about the concept or the ideas about the given topic, and then they need to share in pair or in a group discussion and share what they're thinking in the first period. And for the another expert, Khalifa in 2019 said the think pair share is a strategy used to create reaction towards a certain topic. After thinking, they need to manipulate the question or a problem individually of a certain topic, and then in a pair of discussion, in a pair of group, they need to share their ideas to get a correct answer or the justification about their ideas, and then they share it again and declare them as a one idea. So they take another ideas from their friends and justify their ideas before, and then after they have a group discussion, they need to share all the they need to get all the information and share it again in one ideas. And the TPS in general is the collaborative discussion strategies designed to provide learner with the time to think and formulate their ideas and thought about the question or a problem of a certain topic before forming a pair of a peer discussion, and then they share the result of their thinking with their friends in a one ideas. Next is the historical background of TPS. Since the TPS known as the strategies that utilize with the principle all before once. That means is all the students are engaged in thinking activity before they are any one of them called upon in a group discussion or in pair. These strategies incorporate the students with the wait time, so they have time to further rehearsal and to think about their individual idea after given the certain question about the topics, and then they have a cooperative learning classroom. And then Think Per Share actually is the cooperative discussion, as I mentioned before. It is developed by Frank Lehman with his college in Maryland in 1981. So it is get named from the three stages, as I mentioned, the think and pair and share of the student action, with emphasis on what students are doing at each of those stage. And then it is original from Lehman and defined to wait period. The first one is period 1, or we call it the time for think about their first individual idea, and period 2 for the group ideas, and gather those two ideas as one ideas. And then it is strategies designed to get many student activity involved of any size. So large of number of a class can be active class with these strategies. And then TPS itself, as I mentioned before, Lehman need to encourage the students, all the students with any size of class, and get them to participate of all the learning activities. So the step of this TPS, the first one, they need to think the instructions. The instruction. The teachers give them a question of certain topic, and then this question is preferably demanding the analysis, the evaluation, synthesis, and the teacher give the time, or we call it the first period, to think about their ideas about it, and give them maybe 30 seconds or 2 minutes or more to think through an appropriate response to the topic. And then the second one is the second step is the pair. After the thinking time of the individual ideas, the thinking time also spent in writing the response. So after wait this time, the student they turn to partners. So after they think individually, they need to think in pair and share their response to their friends. After that, they are allowing given time for both rehearsal and immediate feedback on their ideas. So they maybe correct their each idea if their friend idea is need to be corrected. And then after they have a rehearsal with their friend, they need to share the ideas with the classroom. During the third or the last stage, the student responses can be shared within learning terms, within a larger groups, not only 2 or maybe 3, maybe they share it in a whole class. Within the entire class during a follow-up discussion. And for their features, Khalifa in 2016 said the TPS is a relative low risk and short cooperative learning technique that is ideally and appropriate for instructor. So the teachers can use these strategies to teach a large of class, and it is have a low risk of making in time consuming actually. And the students who are new about the cooperative learning can use this strategy and enjoy this the learning activity in these strategies. Furthermore, TPS is one collaborative learning strategies found useful in all kinds of learning situations and applicable to all age and abilities. So not only for children, it can be used for a teenager in middle school or high school, or even to the college students with this TPS. So if they use this TPS, they will enrich their individual things with their friend ideas. The last is the characteristic of TPS. Hamada, as a site in Khalifa, mentioned some characteristic about the TPS. The first one, TPS give the opportunity for the students to ask and learn and discuss about their thought in a group discussion and exchange their ideas. And then second one, it provides them opportunity for learning, of course, since they are receive new knowledge and new ideas from their friends. And the third one, these strategies provide students opportunity to learn from their errors in an atmosphere qualified with understanding, interaction, and communication. So since they are exchange their idea in a group, they receive information. Also, they have an evaluation from their friends. If they make a mistake or make an error, their friends will give the new input for them. And then the last one, the characteristic of TPS. TPS provide with opportunities to record their ideas or in a paper. So in the first period, they will have individual thinking, and then they will write it down their ideas in a paper, and then the teacher can use that paper to evaluate the students and explore what happened if the student made a mistake, and then they will use this paper also to explore about the topic and make the student make the classroom is more fun or more active in learnings. If any mistake, the teacher can evaluate it from there. That's all from me. Thank you very much for watching.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Indah Putri Warganegara. I am the second presenter of Team Pair Share Group. So today I would like to explain about the strengths and also weaknesses of Team Pair Share strategy. As we know that there are 3 activities in TPS strategy, which are the first one is think, and then second one is pair, and the last one is share. So there will be many strengths that I will be elaborated here. And here are some strengths of think, pair, share strategy according to Johnson and Johnson 1993. The first strength of think, pair, share strategy comes from thinking time provision. As we know that the first step of TPS is think, so in the first step, which is thinking, the teacher will give the students time to think first and answer some questions that given by the teacher. This step allows the students to develop their answers first, and in my opinion, giving the students thinking time can improve students' response quality because they are given the time to think or prepare their informations into the discussion with their peers. Not only that, but thinking time can help students to control the first answer that comes first in their mind to more reliable and better answer that is full of justification and reasonable. The second strength of think pair share strategy is this strategy can make students actively involved. This strategy has power to make all the students get involved in learning process. After the first step thinking time, the teacher will ask the students to make pair with their friend. And then pair and share time triggers the students to talk and discuss with each other about their own thoughts. They also use to appreciate one's opinion about the problem and the answer. So it makes the students more actively involved in a group discussion and also class participations. It also invites equal participation for each student. So in this step, students will have opportunity to learn higher level thinking from their pair, and they also can gain their self-confidence when reporting their ideas to the whole class. In conclusion, the pair step in think pair share strategy ensures that no student is left out of the discussion because they will actively involve in discussion with their peers. And the third one, the strength of think pair share is think pair share strategy can give students chance to collaborate the refining definition. Here, think pair share allows the students to rehearse responses mentally and verbally, and all the students have opportunity to talk. Not only that, but also when students in discussion with their pair, they can resolve students' misunderstanding about the topic that they discuss. Students' misunderstanding about a topic are resolved during peer tutoring or peer teaching. They would argue their ideas and then discuss it together. So if there are some misunderstanding or different opinions, it can be resolved clearly. And the fourth one, think pair share strategy can result in more dynamic classroom interaction that promotes and enhances more learning. In the discussion step with their peers, the students can enrich their opinion or solution with their peers before sharing it to the whole class. And applying this strategy is also easy to be implemented since it doesn't take much time for the class preparation. Teachers also can apply this technique whenever they can, whether in the small class or also in the big class. The last one is think pair share strategy as one of cooperative learning strategy. Think pair share strategy benefits students in the area of peer acceptance, peer support, and academic achievement, and also self-esteem. Think pair share strategy gives the student positive change in student self-esteem. The first one is through this strategy, the student learns how to listen and respect to other voice and also others' idea. The second one is this strategy gives the opportunity to the students to learn higher level thinking skill from their peers. And the last one is the students can feel confident when they are speaking and standing in front of the class when they report and they share the idea that has been discussed. And it also reduces the competition among the students and ensures more participation from the students in the class. In short, all the advantages by using think pair share strategy can make students more enjoyable in learning process. And the other advantages of think pair share strategy, especially for the teacher, here is the teacher can assess the student understanding of the learning material by listening to them during discussion or pair work activity. And not only that, but also the teacher can ask the students in different kind and level of question based on their ability. So we come to the weaknesses or disadvantages of think, pair, share strategy. There are 5 weaknesses or disadvantages of this strategy. The first one is time consuming. Applying this strategy will be time consuming if the process doesn't run well. So as the teacher, we have to be able to create an amusing atmosphere, and also we have to give some rules for prevention. The second weakness of this strategy is odd number of students. Problem may appear when the number of students consists of odd number. For example, in the class there are 27 students. So in this case, the teacher may let one group with odd number. For example, one group consists of three students for the pairing stage. The third one is domination of certain students. So students who are in upper level of knowledge usually have many opportunities to share their idea because they have more ideas in their mind than the lower students. So it can create a situation where the upper students try to dominate the process of learning, especially in the sharing stage. And therefore, the teacher should always check and monitor the entire process to ensure that such thing doesn't happen. Students should also be provided an understanding about equal opportunity and participation in classroom learning. The fourth one is assigning the member of the group. Think, pair, share strategy allows all of the students to share their ideas one by one. It makes the teacher should assign every student in order to monitor their participation in discussion. So it will be hard for the teacher because the teacher will work harder to remember and recognize the students who are good or not in the process of learning in the classroom. And the last one is limited information. So the information received by the students is limited to what their friends know. The ideas that come up from the students' mind usually appear from their previous knowledge and acquire knowledge from the text given. The information can be limited if the students are not able to elaborate their ideas. So the information given only rotate in the same place or not elaborate well, and not so many information that students get from their friends. So there are 5 disadvantages of the think, pair, share strategy. That's all about my presentation. The next presentation will be presented by Faradina. Thank you for your attention.
Hello, my name is Faradina. I would like to continue my group presentations, think, pair, share strategy, and my part here is explaining the procedure of think, pair, share strategy, or how to implement this strategy. There are 2 opinions here. The first one from Lehman, 1981. There are 3 structures involved in this strategy. The first one, think. The teacher pose questions or ask problematic question to the students, and then he or she gives time to the student to think and answer the problematic questions. Not only problematic questions, but also it can be in the form of pictures or story where the students are asked to guess what happened in the picture or what is the continuations of the story. And about the problematic questions, text, for example, the teacher asked the students, what did you face, or what problem did you face during online learning? And that's the example. And this stage permits the students to develop their own answer. It means that there is no criteria in this stage what kind of answer that the students have to make. And then this stage also, the students can express their thinking by taking notes, for example. And then that's the first stage of this procedure. And the second stage, pairing. The teacher firstly divide the students into pair. It can be randomly, it can be nearby or sitting mates, because Liman didn't specify how to divide the students into pairs. And then in this pair, after the think time, the teacher asks the students what they are going to make. This stage allows the students to ask another pair to enrich the answer or solution posed by the teacher before they present their work with the whole class. If the students in this pair can enrich their knowledge and their answer or solutions that they made during the first stage with their pair, by discussing it with their pair or comparing their thinking, they might express their thinking about the topic or about the problematic question proposed by the teacher with their pair. And then they can use or combine their thinking in making their work and declare their work as one idea, because they have discussed it with their pair, and then they conclude this is the best one. The best one here is the result of their discussion, combining two ideas into one. That's why they declare their work as one idea. And then the last steps of this procedure is sharing. The teacher asks volunteer for a volunteer, if there is volunteer of each pair, to present their work with the rest of the class. And these steps can be used by the students to check their own work by listening to the pair who presents their work in front of the class. And then this opportunity also can be a great chance for the students to give comments, opinion, or corrections to pair who presents their idea in front of the class. And while the presenter also can use this opportunity to get more input from their friends and revise their work. And that's the procedure proposed by Frank Liman: think, pair, and share. And the second one is procedures proposed by Kagan 2009. There are 5 stages. Here, the first one, organizing students into pair. The first step that the teacher should do is divide the students into pairs randomly. Kagan specify that it should be random. It should be decided randomly, and this is done in order to avoid the gap between high and low students. And this is done also because they will have great chance to know each other closely between the low or the high students, and it will increase the respect of the students to one another. While Frank Liman didn't specify whether it should be random, nearby, or sitting mate, the Kagan 2009 decided that pairs should be decided randomly. And then the second one, posing the topic or questions. the topic or the question should be related to the material that is going to be discussed by the students. This stage makes the students to think deeper and deeper, and they can give their opinion in many aspects. This stage focus on the teacher, where they or he or she pose the questions or a topic to the students, and actually the topic or the questions also can be in the form of pictures or story, like before, where the students are asked to guess what happened in the picture or what is the continuations of the story, and the students should think deeper and deeper. What is the picture is trying to tell? What is the best answer for the questions, or what is the continuations of the story? And the third step, giving times to the students. The teacher should give the students several minutes to think an answer of the questions given before. They should analyze the question and use their critical thinking to answer it. Probably each student has different answer with one another. Uh, Actually, the second step and the third step in Frank Lehman is actually in the think in the think steps, because the teacher posed a question, a topic, and the students should think about it. And it is important to note that Kagan and Lehman suggest that teachers should give times to the students to think about the answer or the topic that is posed by the teacher. And then, well, actually they can express in this stage, they can express their thinking by taking notes or keep it in their mind first, and then at the next stage they express their mind with their pair. Number 4, asking the students to discuss with their pair and share their thinking. They will share their thinking and discuss each other to find the answer, the best answer. Furthermore, this activity can be developed into higher level by gathering one pair into another pair, and this activity can be used to develop students' knowledge and communicative skill and confidence. In this pair, the students express their idea with their pair, discuss it, compare it, and contrast it with their pair to find the best answer and combine it in making the best one, and then declare it as one idea. And into higher level here, they can share their thinking with another pair. For example, exchange their words to get more input from another pair. And then the discussion can be in the form of suggestion, opinion, or comment with one another with their thinkings. And this actually develops their knowledge, because they get more input and they know what should be there and what should be don't. And then it develops their communicative skill, because they have to express their idea with their pair so that their pair know their idea and they have to discuss it. It trains their communicative skill with one another, and then it boosts the confidence, because, well, firstly, each student has different answer, and then both students also have confidence with their answer. this is my answer, and this is, I think, is the best one, and then this is the best one, and then they actually compare it, contrast it, and then they find, oh, okay, this is my, I think this is the best one. Let's combine it with mine, and then let's find another solution if there are mistakes there with their thinking or their idea, and find the solution together. That's why it boosts confidence, because they can minimize the mistakes they make before presenting it with the whole class. And then the last step, calling on a few students to share their idea with the rest of the class. Some students here give their answer, their word, present their word in front of the class, while the others can give opinion, suggestions, corrections, or comment to the pair who presents their idea, who is presenting their idea. It can be used to develop their knowledge and also boost confidence, because firstly, knowledge, the presenter and also the students can get more input. The presenter get more input from the students because they give comments, opinion, or suggestions, and while the other students get more input because the presenter present their idea, and then the students can check their word by listening to the presenter, and then it boosts the confidence because, well, the between the presenter and the students, while the presenters present their idea, they are confident with their work because they have discussed it before, and the students, they are confident because, well, let's say, in giving comments or opinion to the pair who is presenting their work, they're confident that, I think that my answer can add your answer because I'm confident with my answer because I have discussed it with my pair before. And the fourth and fifth steps in Kagan, both of them develops the knowledge and increase the confidence of the students. And then that's the procedure proposed by Kagan and Liman. Actually, the difference is that Kagan suggests the teacher to divide the students at the beginnings divide the students into pairs at the beginning, while the friendly man suggests that the students should be in paired work at the second stage, pair. And then the procedure proposed by Kagan, the pair should be decided randomly, while Liman didn't specify it. And actually there are similarity here, but Kagan specify the steps from the think steps from Frank Liman into two steps. The first one is teacher pose questions for a topic, and the second one, teacher gives student time to think about the topic or questions. And these two steps in Kagan, actually there is in think steps, the second and the third one, there is in a these steps are in think step from Frank Liman. And that's the procedure of think per strategy from Frank Liman and Kagan. And then the second part of my presentation is how to apply this strategy for each skills. And my group decided that we use Franklin-Mann's procedure. The first stage, think, can be used to promote reading skills uh, by giving students time to think, to comprehend the text, picture, or questions given by the teacher. And then this stage promotes reading skill because the students have to think critically what will be the best answer to the question, what is the appropriate story, the continuation of the story, or what will be the best answer of the picture that is trying to tell. And then it is important to note that teachers should give times to the students to think. And the second steps, pair, can be used to train listening and writing. Listening and writing are engaged actively and used since the students discuss their thinking or answer with their pair to find the best one. In achieving the best one here, the pair listens to one another, corrections, suggestions, opinion, and they use the result of their discussions in writing the draft. There is a sign to them. Like in this stage, each student express their idea or showing their notes, to their pair, and they have to listen their pair idea, contrast it, discuss it, compare, combine in finding the best ones, and then declare their word as one idea. The draft is, after the discussion, they write the draft and declare it as one idea. And the last step here, share, is used to foster speaking skill by asking the students or each pair to present their idea with the rest of the class. And not only the presenter speaking skill, but also the other students speaking skill, because this opportunity can be used by the other students to foster their speaking skill by asking questions, giving comments, giving suggestions, while the presenter have to present their idea orally, and they have to, exchanging information that happens. And of course, technically it trains students speaking skill by exchanging idea between the presenter and the rest of the class. And I think that's all from my presentations that I have done, and I'm sorry of the mistakes I make. And have a nice day.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rini Malinda. I want to continue my group presentation, and I'm as the last presenter. Think pair share strategy is one of the classic active learning strategy that teacher can use in one's classes. And it has 3 steps: the think, the pair, and the share. Often there is a collapsing on the pair and on the share, but in general, first teacher gives time to the student to think about the question or the question or situation or other scenario that teacher wants them to think about. After that, the teacher gives them to think effectively but alone about that. Teacher can ask them to write down their thought. But then in the end of the short period of time, whether there is 3 minutes or 5 minutes, teacher have them to pair up. And if it is really big class or the number of students in the class is 1/8, the teacher can have them to triple up. It doesn't have to be pair. And then they discuss whatever it is they come up with. It's just an opportunity for them to just say here. For example, what did you think about what did you think about it? What did you think about what I said? Something like that. So it's just an interactive opportunity for the students to hear from their peers. And then the key part when they are talking to each other is that the instructor should walk around the room and the kind of eavesdrop on what the students are saying. So the teacher that want to understand the kind of they are saying or they are talking about, maybe not specific details, but the kind of the thing what they are talking about. And then the teacher also can learn if the students are on the right track or if there is a big misconception that maybe they might be reinforcing others about the misconception. So the teacher wants to know that as the instructor. So that's why, if possible, to walk around the room and just overhear what the students are saying. That can be really important part of the pair step. And then for the share, teacher have the students report out. So this does 2 things. One, it's let the teacher bring to light any specific comment that you overhear during the pair section. Teacher can bring it up with the whole class because there can be some really important good observation that the student make within the pair. And the other thing, it does it if there is a group of 3 or 4 or 5, but maybe 3 is probably optimal. The group report as a group. It doesn't report as an individual. So if students is a little insecure at the personal level or in individual level, being able to share out as a group is a bit safe, is a bit more comfortable for many students. So that's what the share part does. And then it just get the whole group together and the teacher kind of sum up the smaller conversation with the large group. Okay, that's about the procedure of think, pair, share strategy in general. Now I want to tell you about the application of think, pair, share strategy. And in this procedure, a series of pictures were used since Risqia and Padak in 1996 state that think, pair, share is a cooperative learning strategy that can provide change for students to make a story or text based on the picture or other teaching aids. Okay, the first is think. Okay, that's about the procedure of think, pair, share strategy in general. Now I want to tell you about the application of think, pair, share strategy. In this procedure, series of pictures were used since Risqia and Padak in 1996 state that think, pair, share is a cooperative learning strategy that can provide change for students to make a story or text based on picture or other teaching aids. The first is think. Teachers draw a series of pictures which is unfinished and sequential on the board to elicit recount text. After that, learners guess every picture by taking notes. This phase is conducted in order to attract the learner's attention. And then, teacher posts series of finished and sequential pictures on the board. After that, the learners are asked to guess the story from the first picture until the last one by write it on a paper. Hence, they are given more time to think about it. Second, pair. Learners are asked to find the pair and give them a paper guidelines that has sequence of the text in it. After that, learners are asked to exchange their work or draft that they have done before with their pair to provide feedback. The feedback is concerned on 5 aspects of writing, that is content, organization, vocabulary, language use, and mechanic. The learner might underline difficult word. After that, after giving feedback to their peer work, they should check the sequence of the story based on the guidelines. Additionally, both teacher and learner discuss the guidelines and provide explanation to each passage from the guidelines and difficult words. Every pair discuss the story by using draft as consideration. The learner then write the story with their pairs. And the last is share. Each pair is asked to share their works by sticking them on the board. Hence, this opportunity can be used by other pairs to check their own work or give comments. Comments, suggestion, or correction in their friends' work by writing on their works. And here some several rules that teacher can do in this strategy, according to Khalifa in 2016. There are before, during, and after. Okay, the rule of teacher before the lesson. First, preparation in teaching aids for each lesson. Second, preparation of the learning environment. Third, distributing worksheet for each group or pair. And then, the role of the teacher during the lesson. First, explaining the new lesson and giving students examples. Second, monitoring the work of groups and listening to the dialogue and to the discussion between the members of the group. Third, monitoring and providing feedback to encourage the students and to identify area of weakness that you need to review. Fourth, following up the progress made by the member of each group. Fifth, evaluating each activity that the group implemented during the lesson. And the last is the role of the teacher after the lesson. Okay. The teacher summarizes the main points of the lesson. That is the roles of the teacher for use this strategy according to Khalifa in 2016. Okay, next to the learner perception on the implementation of think, pair, share strategy. Several researchers have investigated learners' perceptions toward think, pair, share strategy. And most of them reveal that learners give positive perception toward this strategy. Think, pair, share strategy is assumed by learner that it boosts confidence, learners' activity, motivation, and peer correction. Here some perception of the learners. Afriliani in 2018 investigates students' perception on the use of think, pair, share strategy in State University in Banda Aceh. There were some students' perception after being taught through think, pair, share. The first is active participation. The first perception that was perceived by the participants was think-perceive strategy facilitative active perception. Okay, next to the learner perception on the implementation of think-pair-share strategy. Several researchers have investigated learner perceptions toward think-pair-share strategy, and most of them reveal that learners give positive perception toward this strategy. Think-pair-share strategy is assumed by learner that it boosts confidence, learner activity, motivation, and peer corrections. And here is some perception of the learners. By Afriliani in 2018. Afriliani investigated students' perception on the use of think-pair-share strategy in a state university in Banda Aceh. There were some students' perception after being taught through think-pair-share strategy. The first is active participation. The first perception that was perceived by the participant was think-pair-share strategy facilitative active participation. During the interview, participant 1 mentioned it. By using think-pair-share strategy is a good and important because TPS makes students more active, can be shared in a group and given the problem for each and share to the others. Maybe it helps students to be more active. And then after that is motivation. During teaching learning process, the tasks and atmosphere in the classroom might decrease students' motivation. And teacher should find a way in dealing with those situations. Using think-pair-share strategy perhaps can help teacher to cope with this situation. Two participants in interview agreed that think-pair-share strategy could increase their motivation. Participation 2 said, the strategy gives motivation and makes fun learning environment so that we can enjoy the class. Participants 3 also said, it motivates and makes me more flexible with my friend and being corrected by my friend without being shy. So, we can be more confident and not being nervous when we come forward because we have prepared. Hence, participant 3 added being corrected by my friend without being shy. It means that think-pair-share promotes peer corrections. Okay, my friends, I think that's all. Thank you for your attention and I close. Assalamualaikum. Wassalamualaikum.